Identity, the Quest for Israel's Future by Emanuel Shahaf. Hello to you, Emanuel.
Hello, hello.
You know, from the last report till now, all what you predicted, unfortunately, happened. It means that we're in the middle of a huge terrorist attack towards the cities of Israel. The IDF forces are in Jenin as we speak. From your perspective, what do you predict is going to happen in the coming weeks?
More of the same. We're not going to see any change. I mean, maybe the terror may settle down a little or may go up a little. There's no expectation for any change because we're not doing anything to change the situation.
No hope.
There's no hope, there's no vision. This government doesn't want to engage in the peace process. And that's the result. The result is that we have to be ready for terrorist attacks at any time. And so that's very unfortunate, but it's absolutely predictable.
So from your perspective, the extremists around this government, from the right wing, from the left wing, from terrorists, etc., they are all coming against the Jewish Arabic country.
Yes, this is the first government which has in the coalition Arabs and Jews together, and this is a real threat to the extremists, both to the terrorists on one side and of course also to the very Jewish extremists in the right side of Israel's government, Israel's Knesset. And both of them are acting almost in unison, different methods, of course, but they do all they can to tear this government apart. And I hope, of course, that they won't succeed, but we don't know.
You know, the part of the trying to tear everything apart is being felt with the Negev new laws that are enabling new cities. Israel, yes. Jewish cities to be built in the Negev. What is your perspective regarding that?
One of the things fueling this extremism is, of course, the government decision now to build 5 or 6 new cities in the Negev, which is completely superfluous. There's no, it doesn't make any sense planning-wise. It doesn't make sense any sense demography-wise. It takes away money from the existing cities already, which are in not so good shape. And of course it is harmful to the living together between Bedouins and Jews in the Negev, because, how not surprising, some of those cities will be put up in the middle of where the Bedouin population lives in the Negev, and has not been taken care of for decades already. So so this is the wrong move. But as long as Israel hasn't decided what it wants to do in general and how it wants to continue to exist as a state, we're going to have to deal with things like that. I participated in a conference yesterday where the subject of discussion was the future of a constitution for Israel. And the two main issues that are critical for a constitution, namely, who are the people who write the constitution? Constitution always starts, we the people. Who are those people? Who are them? Is it the Jews, or is it those who live in Israel?
Arab Israelis, Palestinians, whoever it is.
Whoever it is was not discussed. And even the occupation, a minor little detail that State of Israel doesn't have recognized borders, was only touched by one of the Arab lecturers who participated, Dr. Manael Tutri Jubran, who raised the issue that without borders it's very difficult to write a constitution. So those two issues, which should have been at the center of the conference, were hardly either not discussed or hardly discussed, and it shows, you know, how embarrassing, actually, what an embarrassing situation we are in. We have a huge problem, and even those people who should know better, okay, the
top judges are
avoiding to discuss major issues.
Even when they are not in court, now they are
Yeah, it's an academic, it's an occasion, okay? It's a public occasion. They could speak their mind, but they won't. It's just too hot a subject to touch.
Another article that is very, very interesting by Bet Michael.
Yes, article, we keep saying that
we're preventing.
How many terror attacks were prevented. But Bet Michael correctly writes, we should also consider how many terror attacks we caused, not directly, of course, but indirectly, by our measures, the measures we take in the territories. The Israeli army is acting in Jenin, is acting very forcefully. Palestinians are getting killed almost on a daily basis, and not all of them are involved in terror acts. So this causes, of course, terror. We're blowing up the houses of terrorists, which also doesn't cause goodwill. So there's always this is a game we're playing. Okay, there's games people play. We hit them, they hit us, we hit them, and the waves that we talked about in the beginning of terror will continue as long as we don't change the setting.
And when you're talking about changing the setting, you are offering the federation idea.
Yes.
From your perspective, how can it be changing the settings? What are in the equation, the changes that are going to be made?
The main, first of all, the main thing which will come with the federation is a vision. Is a vision for the future. Okay, is a vision for the future that both sides can acquaint themselves with, and they can develop comfort with. It's not, we can't take that for granted, but something that gives everybody equal rights and access to economic opportunity should make everybody comfortable. So the federation does that, and whoever wants to read about it can read about it in the book, and also on the website and on the federation page in Facebook.
And there is a map, and the map practically offers an idea that no one should leave its home. Everyone are equal citizens in this region, in this new state. Mm-hmm. And while there will going to be hope and people are going to be feeling and living equal life, you're saying that the real essence, the real need to create terrorist attack will be avoided.
Will be avoided. People will have something to lose, they will have something to look forward to. They will understand that they are being valued and not just put down. And equality is the term of reference here.
Let's talk about a bit, some good news, some upside. Yes. That is being felt in the region also.
Some good news. Turns out there's about 150 NGOs, Israeli, Palestinian, Arab NGOs in the area who work towards peace, who work towards people-to-people connections, and who are actively engaged in peacemaking. And these NGOs are getting a big injection of money now from the U.S. government, which has budgeted $50 million a year for the next 5 years. So the activities of those 150 NGOs should also make an impact and bring us closer to peace, while the extremists on both sides are still trying to do the opposite. And
from your perspective, you've been conducting meetings here in the region, but also overseas. Do you think that the world, also in the U.S., people are opening themselves towards the federation ideas, for new ideas?
People are certainly open to alternative ideas. I think outside of Israel, people are not so much aware of the fact that the two-state solution is very unlikely to happen, but they are open to other ideas, and I'll do my best to bring them to their attention.
Part of your abilities and your efforts is being conducted by creating a community that people that are watching these reports, going on Amazon. So basically, if someone wants to be part of this dialogue, what and where can you find?
Approach me through Facebook. You will find my email somewhere, also on the website of the Federation Movement. So it's not difficult to get in touch with me. It's all
Federation
there.
Or Emanuel Shahaf.
Or the Quest for Israel's Future, Identity, the Quest for Israel's Future. It's all available.
Emanuel Shahaf, Identity, the Quest for Israel's Future, here and also in the region. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.